Do you want to have your beer in the shot?
No, I don't want to look too cool. It's like, oh, hello, I drink shitty beer. My name is Patrice Hamelin. I'm from Canada and I play drums for Gorguts, Beneath the Massacre, and I'm session drummer for a band called Cephalic Carnage. I was into sports for a long time, so like extreme metal drumming is like something really physical, so as well like primitive, but I love the intensity of it. It's like doing an intense running or a marathon or something like that. The physical aspect is a big part of it at the basic part. I don't know why, but it's how it is for me. I was a big Slayer fan when I was younger, and Metallica and all those basic like thrash metal bands. But when I got into college in music, I think college in music was the best thing for me to discover like so many different styles and so many different drummers. I think it's from that point that I decided to like improve like what I wanted to play in my life, because before that I was playing Slayer and I was really happy about it, like thrash metal and intensity. But after college I wanted more. That's it, you know, like playing Latin music, trying jazz stuff. I'm not the best jazz player for sure, because I'm a metal drummer, so I'm not that. I don't have the groove, but still I like the technique of it, and like just discovering like new style. With Gorguts, the coolest thing is you can like try like every kind of aspect of the music, so I can like play every kind of drumming. So I can play as simple as possible, and that's the goal. Like we want it simple, and some part is just like polyrhythmic stuff, like 5 against, like we did like 3 against 10. Like it's just like so complicated to understand that. It took me like 6 months just to got that polyrhythmic part. So that's how it is. That's what I like about drumming. I changed a bit my playing. I'm trying to play traditional grip in the more like soft parts. When I play like normal grip, I don't know, I sound like too square. So that technique I had to change, and it's hard. I'm not used to play traditional grip that much. I play for 3-4 years now, maybe 5. I was trying that when I was in college, but I just gave up like through the years and tried to come back at it. And it sounds like more soft and more groovy. It just helped me. I cannot hit that hard with that techniques, and it made me like use my snare drum like a little bit more like up front like that. And I love it now just for the normal grip, because I can hit really like great rim shot with. I tried traditional grip because of that. I switched my snare a bit up front, and now I love it. So I changed my technique kind of just because of that, like, and even the position of my drums. After a couple of shows that we were doing, like, because the bass drum, the main bass drum is a metal bass drum. So the sound is metal. So in the ambience part and the jazzy part, it was really horrible because you have just really big attack with no like resonance and more like no jazzy sound. First tour I did with the concept was like with 2 bass drum and a 3rd bass drum on the right, which was just like totally like unreal for normal setup or small stage like we're doing tonight. Like the drum was like, I was playing in the Halloween or I don't know, in Dream Theater or something. So that idea was really bad. So I was just thinking about, on the new album, like we tried like so many tribal stuff, and I didn't want to play with the normal kick. So I was just thinking, what about a left-handed double pedal? And just like switch it. So I have a trigger on my right kick, and I have just a jazzy bass drum sound on the left one, which is like amazing for the ambience part. And after the ambience part, when I need some power, I can use a 2nd kick. So that was the idea. So it becomes like, I don't know, it looks a bit crazy, but I love those 2 double pedals so much now. Like I'm addicted to now. Yeah, totally. If I play fast, it's going to be on the main bass drum. But at home, I was just trying for fun, for the natural sound. If you adjust the sound like with more attack, a 16 inches kick drum is an amazing kick for metal. I was doing like, and it works. It was just funny. But at the same time, the trigger helps like a lot. So. That part, like practicing for me, is where you have to learn even more in Gorguts, because half of the band is from New York, half of the band is from Montreal. Band of Montreal, from Quebec. So when we rehearse, we have to drive 10 hours to see each other, so we have to be ready. We don't rehearse 3 times a week. We rehearse like once per 3 months. We have to be ready. So personal practice is when you learn your stuff like perfectly, from scratch to the end. Rehearsal is when you try to get ready together, adjusting all those small details, punches, the breaks, and like all those small things that are not totally accurate. And live is when you have to deliver, like the product. You hit harder, you need like the intensity, the contact with the crowd. Everything is different live, you know, you have to move. Yeah, on rehearse, I'm not like, nobody's doing headbanging, you know, like even Luke most part of the time doesn't sing. I hit, of course, like less hard in the rears because we practice not for an hour and 10 minutes, we can practice for 4 hours. So I need to balance my energy. That's what makes that big difference about the playing. I'm going more smoother because I'm gonna injure myself playing 4 or 5 hours of intense metal, like trying to be like if you're on stage. I think that's the biggest difference for my playing compared to live, that you have the adrenaline, you have people in front of you, you know, like you want to deliver the job like as much as you can. So you hit harder, of course, like by far. In rears, I always balance my energy, but from live on stage, the problem is to deal with the adrenaline and the energy of the crowd. You need to hit hard, but the danger in extreme metal, and you can, when you play slower, some drummers are hitting so hard, stupid hard, and they're doing alternate blast beats real fast, and there's no more power. So basically you're a pain in the ass for the sound guy, because your snare volume goes from this to this to this to this to this. So you need to balance a little bit more. So sometimes it's, you want to destroy the snare drum, but you like, okay, I'm just gonna do a good rim shot, but not too powerful. Even if it's so like you just want it. But. Luke is like a classical songwriter, like Colin is like a machine to write music, and crazy music. Like it's just like what he wrote on bass on the new album compared to what Luke's wrote. It fits perfectly, but I'm like, where did you find that? And Kevin is a really good guitar player as well. So my experience was more like a collective thing. Like even Colin found some drum riffs. Like, oh, what about that? And he was like trying something weird on the computer. And I was listening to it and like, oh, it sounds like better than my idea. So like, it's not a fight between like, that's my part, you know? Like if somebody have a better idea than me, or even sometimes on punches and stuff like that, I can find other ideas. And the guys, oh, well, yeah, that's way better than what you do. So that's what we were doing. So it's a more collective thing, and every ideas are welcome. That lets the best idea work. That's it. It's like, that's how it is. Like Luke is a really like perfectionist. He had his idea of how it's supposed to sound, and all the details, even the crescendo on the cymbals and stuff like that, have to be in a certain way. It's not like, okay, it's fine. No, okay, you should do that, but let's start like a 16 note before what you start, and a lot of details that makes the music at the end like great, because all those details are fixed. And Colin is just like one of the best musicians I know in overall. Like he played guitars, he played bass. The parts he wrote on the album, I had to play with him as well as the guitar, which is totally two different tracks. So he challenged me a lot on this album, like a lot of polyrhythmic stuff. I was like, what the fuck you're doing? Like, yeah, this guy was a big challenge for me. Like the creativity level of this guy is just pretty like exceptional. The best thing is just to be like in my place at home with like the guys, or at Colin's studio, which is like he called it the mini growth because it's like totally a cave. Like there's no window in that studio. So when you get in there, you're into music. The best environment is just to be like all together and practicing. Like I said, those guys, their creativity is over the top. So the conditions are at the maximum when they are there. Like it's just weird as that. Like, and of course, like being in my own studio on my drums, on my own equipment, like that's the best. Like I can just, if I'm not into it, I go upstairs doing my stuff. I go downstairs, and if I'm more creative, that's the time. So I don't need to drive to my rehearsal place and set up my stuff or whatever. Like it's all in my basement, like all my equipment is there. So that's the best. Maybe the routine sometime in life doesn't help for that. So maybe it helps when I'm going to Colin's studio as well. Like I'm not home at all, where there's not even a window in that place. Like you're isolated from the planet. And it's a huge studio, so that's amazing. Like we can record ourselves. That's where we recorded the album as well. We were in the same environment as like at writing the album and at recording it. It's the same place, same routine. So that was perfect for that. But it's true that it's a problem in the metal scene now. Like the product is so like high quality that it's not even real. So live is disappointing sometimes. You know that the crowd, the fans, most part doesn't even know what is a trigger. So if you don't play with the trigger with a mic, it's never gonna sound as powerful. So the crowd will think that you're less powerful than the other guy. Or the album, some albums are way better. But not way better, but like the sound, the production, it sounds like in your face, like so like, but live, those guys are coming on drums with no triggers, nowhere, not even one. Like, yeah, I want it to sound natural. I'm like, dude, your album is a fucking studio product. Like it's a beatbox. So add triggers on your drum and play with triggers at least live. So you're gonna sound exactly like your album. So it's a big contradiction. Like people don't like that, but when they listen to the album, they hear like, it's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, it's not human. And some bands, they're listening to their album and they start to believe that they played that shit for real. And it's like, no, dude, like you cannot play at 280 BPMs during 4-minute song nonstop and be perfect. It's not gonna happen. And live, you'll find it soon. We're struggling to play our stuff for real. And you listen to albums sometime and you see the drummer live and you say like, fuck it, fuck that shit. Like I would be shamed to be on stage after like what you recorded. Like you don't know how to play drums basically, but you sound like a fucking drum machine on the album. That's the problem now, but that's how technology is about, I guess. Like so, like in every possible way in the world, like technology, sometime when you go too much into it, it destroyed like something. Like so it's the same thing. So it's really bad, but that's a temptation of the technology, the famous like grid symptoms or whatever. Like when you look at the grid and you look at the waves of the snare and the wave is just like half of a millimeter like on the right. So, oh, it's not tight. Now close your eyes. Is it tight? Yeah, it's tight. Stop looking at the grid, dude. Like when it's not on the grid, that's what we called groove. That's the groove being not perfect. So, no, that's funny. Like how people want so bad to have like their album over-edited, you know? That's why I don't like to listen to metal albums that much sometimes, because I just push play and I'm like, nope. whatever. And live is more disappointing. So you look at the guy like, dude, come on. It's a little bit frustrating. Even more when you know that you recorded for real, and the other guy is like his best album, best drumming performance of the year. Like, are you talking about the guy who produced the album or the drummer? Because the drummer didn't record that shit. So it's like bullshit. Like some bands can do it, like Meshuggah. Like some album I heard the drum is not even recorded for real. But live, it's in your face. Like it's exactly like the album. Editing, I don't care if you can do exactly that live. No problem with that. The problem is like when the guy is not able to do what he's doing. You cannot do that. It's bullshit, it's lie, it's cheating. At the same time, like it makes us like, at least in the metal music community, like we know each other's. So at least when two drummers are recording for real, like, oh, we understand each other's. Like, that's it. Yeah. Well, thank you. It was nice to talk to you. Like, hope to see you on tour somewhere, someday. I don't know where, I don't know when, but hope to party with you one day. See you soon, guys. Bye.